Hey guys, Mike Lawson here. In today's quick video, I want to talk about how to stay focused. Someone actually asked me and requested and just asked me some information or asked me a question, how do I stay focused? And I gave it some thought over the last couple of days, and really it's, as I've been thinking, a lot of things get us off track. A lot of things distract us. Now, the days of social media, we're glued to our phones. We're always we can't even stop at a red light without checking our phones, or there's a lot of distractions out there. So a couple things that I put together, like how I stay focused, I just wanted to share with you guys. But there are some things that are going to happen in life that we can control, and there's going to be some things that we can't control. Now, it seems like there's more things that happen in our lives that we can't control, and we get real emotional about it, and it gets us off track. But you got to remember, and you got to keep the main thing the main thing. So I think it's important to, number one, you have to have written goals. I've talked about this before, but not just, well, it's important to make sure that they're written down. I know a lot of people want to keep them in their phones or it's in their minds, but it's important to actually put it down on paper, and you need to put it somewhere where you're going to see it every day. I see my goals that I've written down for the year that are sitting in my office. I see it every day. I read it every day in my office. So, but a couple things that I want to talk about, I don't know if you've ever felt like me where it just seems like, there might be days, there might be months that just, your world is collapsing in. You're having some bad luck. Things aren't going your way. Life is just happening. So those are some things that we can control. And listen, we've all been through stuff, and I've been through stuff as well. So what kept me focused is having written goals and looking at them every day. So when life gets hard, not only is it there subconsciously, but you just keep moving forward. And when you feel yourself starting to get stuck, and you know what I mean, where you might feel unmotivated, you don't feel like doing anything. And listen, it's okay to sit on the couch for a day, but only do it for a day. It's okay to take a break and gather your thoughts and figure out how you're going to get out of a certain situation or how you're going to respond to a certain situation, but it's important to always stay focused. Okay, so again, make sure your goals are written down. They're in sight. And again, it's important to have a strong why. Okay, so again, when life attacks you, your why is strong enough, so you're able to stay focused. And all the things that have happened to me in my life, and again, we've all had things happen to us. One of the things that kept me focused, personally, was having a strong why. Was always my kids. So when life got in the way and when life was hard and things got tough, my why was my kids. So that just kept me pushing forward. So I think you need to have a strong why, something that's going to push you out of a bad situation. It's going to keep you going. That's going to keep you motivated. So here are my 4 tips that I think are really, really important to keep you focused. Now, I talked about some broad areas, but these are some things that I want you to focus in on. Number 1, being organized. If you're the kind of person where your house is messy, your office is messy, your desk is messy, you need to be organized. You need to get rid of the clutter. Listen, if there's some things that are sitting in your office that you haven't used in a month, get rid of it. You need to, and to me, when I clean up or I declutter, I'm pretty clean, or I'm pretty decluttered. But when I even just clean, I just feel so much clearer. I'm able to think better. So it's important to, be organized, number 1. Clean up the clutter. It's going to help you with concentration. It's going to help you with clarity. Okay. Listen, if your house is, and don't worry about if it's dirty or not. I know there's people that are busy. You might be working 2 or 3 jobs. You might not have time to clean. Okay. But I'm a big believer that organization is clean. Meaning organization, declutterization is going to help you just think better. It's going to give you more clarity. Number 2, have a to-do list. This is important. Now, for me, I have it in my day timer. I know there's phone apps that you can track this, but I think it's important to have a to-do list. Daily, weekly, monthly. Mine's in my day timer. So I know, and if I lost this day timer, I would be lost. So maybe I should go electronically. So if anyone has Any cool apps out there, organization apps, please leave them in the comments. But, for me, I have everything written in my day timer. It's also kind of like a journal as well. So I'll also write down things, what I've done that day. I can always go back and look. I like going back to see what I've done this time, what I was doing this time last year. That's just some things that I do personally. But I think it's important to have a to-do list. Okay, again, it's going to help you stay focused on the goals at hand. You're going to know what you're doing today, tomorrow, next week. And then you want to prioritize them. You want to prioritize, and in my opinion, you want to prioritize things that are the hardest to the easiest. What I mean by that is if you're the type of person where you put things off, and listen, I've been there. Okay, there's things that you don't want to do. Maybe you don't like to clean your kitchen. Maybe you don't like to vacuum. Maybe there's some things that you just don't like to do paperwork. So there's certain things that you put off. We all have them. Things that we don't like to do them first. And you need to create that habit of doing what you don't like to do, doing that first, and that creates a habit. So here's what happens. In one of my businesses, I own a cleaning company, and there was, things that I just didn't like to do. So when I would walk into a place, I'd be like, oh man, I really don't feel like vacuuming. So I would do that first. And here's what happens. After you do that first, everything else is easy. And you get that done, you get that accomplishment out of the way, and you just feel so much better, and it makes everything just go that much smoother. So number 3, time management. Now this was something that I've always struggled with. I've always been a horrible at time management. Probably because I haven't had a job, and after college I didn't get a job. I owned a business, and I kind of always made my own schedule. So time management was very, very hard for me. So a couple things. Time management is going to keep you on track, okay? And you need to allocate. So if you have certain tasks and you write them in your day timer, or you write them, or they're in your phone app, you need to allocate a certain amount of time for each task. Now, if you go over a little bit, that's okay, but you should know how much, doing the laundry is going to take you, or you need to do paperwork for this particular project. You know how long that's going to take you, but physically putting it in there and giving yourself, time and saying, listen, from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm making phone calls, and staying consistent with that and staying strict to that. So from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm doing this. It's just going to keep you on track. So listen, multitasking is great. I always find myself, my other video, I talked about how I'm reading 3 different books. Okay. That's just, it's not that conducive. Okay. Because my mind's all over the place. So you want to pick a particular task and just do that. Do that one task. See, if you're anything like me, have you ever started a task and then you start another one? You start doing this, and then you're doing that, and then you're doing this. You're all over the place, okay? It'll drive you crazy. It drives me crazy, and you're not clear, okay? So you want to have clarity. So time management is very important. If you allocate, again, from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm making phone calls. From 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'm doing this. From 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I'm doing that. And then number 4 is take breaks. Now, this is important. Now, I'm great at this. I'm great at taking breaks. But this is important. So if you have in your daytimer from 9 to 10 a.m. I'm doing this, 10 to 11 I'm doing this, 11 to 12 I'm doing this. Take a break. Every few hours, take a break. Whether it's 15 minutes or it's 20 minutes or it's a half hour, whatever it is, you need to take breaks periodically throughout the day. Now I know there's some of you saying, I work a job, I can't take a break. I get 15 minutes here. Well, we need to get you out of that job unless you truly, truly love it. We can talk about that offline. But my point is, you need to be taking breaks. So when I'm at home and I'm working, I'll go 3 or 4 hours and then I'll look up. So I tend to, I might, stop and get something to eat, and then I go back to work, and then I might, again for another 3 or 4 hours. But what I like to do when I take a break is I'll go run off to the gym for a couple hours. And here's what it does when you take these little breaks. When you take these little breaks, it's going to help you stay focused. It's going to keep you motivated. And on the breaks, let me share this much with you. The breaks that you take, make them productive. Now, make sure they're not work-related, but make them productive. Meaning, don't be sitting on social media unless you're watching stuff like this and it's positivity, okay? But take productive breaks, okay? Well, don't sit by the water cooler and gossip about, what happened last night for 30 minutes. That's not productive. So, be productive. Maybe read a book. Maybe read for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, do something positive. Do something for you that's non-work related. Or go get something to eat. Get something healthy to eat. Okay, so, and I just want to share this with you. When allocating your time and being intentional with is important. And I just read it. There was a study done of thousands of people, and in that study, what was found is that most of us only stay focused for about 6 hours a week. When I read that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, because we're off doing so many different things. So, and if we're only truly focused for 6 hours a week, it's so important that we are laser focused on our goals, that we are laser focused on the things that we want. Okay, so again, make sure they're written down. Okay, be organized. Number one, be organized. Number two, make sure you have a to-do list. Put it in your date timer or an app on your phone. 3, manage your time, allocate time, and being intentional with your time. And 4, take breaks. So I hope this helped, guys. If it did, leave me some feedback. And also, again, people have been asking me what books I've been reading. And if you go to, I actually just posted on my Facebook page, but if you go to my Mike Lawson page and download the free PDF, it'll save you hours and hours of time that I spent reading these books. I actually gave you just a quick summary of some of the books that have changed my life, and they're just amazing. So I'm a big believer. If you're going to take those breaks, read something positive. Put positive in, positive out. Leave me some comments, feedback. I appreciate it. Tag someone or share this video if you think it would help anybody. And until next time, have a great day, everybody.